Welcome to Knife Thoughts. This video is going to be on these three knives, and these are the three micarta versions of the Great Eastern Cutlery number 86 Boomtown Barlow that they're doing here in 2025. And so if you're not familiar with the number 86 frame, it is a large jack that they've done a bunch of times. Bill actually told me at one point that it's his favorite frame or favorite model, and it's something that they've done all kinds of different variations in, but they also have done several Barlows. And several years ago they did the 2AB Barlow. So this was called the 2AB for 2 acorn Barlow. You can see the 2 acorns here on the bolster, and this is, you know, at the time, up until now, I guess, was, I think, in my opinion, the best GEC knife to be made ever as a user, because it's stainless steel. I love stainless steel on a user. You can use the knife and not lose the etch. So hopefully you can see that etch there, and, you know, use it, not have to worry about rust and things like that. But it's also a Barlow, and it's a nice slim single blade Barlow. I do prefer single blades. GEC stainless knives tend to have really nice action, and that was true on these 2ABs. I also loved this bone, this really cool kind of rust colored bone that they did on these. So I have been a big fan of this particular knife since it came out in 2021. Wow, I was a couple years off there. 2021. And so I was really excited to see that they were doing more of these stainless Barlow number 86s, especially because Bill, I think at the rendezvous last year, said that he was not really planning to do any stainless knives soon, or maybe ever. So it's a little bit of a surprise. I think part of that is because these are actually a different stainless steel than most, not all, but most of GEC's other stainless knives have been. So if you see here, it says Cyclops Steelworks. These are not going to say that. I believe that there was some issue with, you know, the sourcing of it or something along those lines. I don't know exacts, but these are 420 HC versus 440 for the previous 2AB. And also, these are being called the Boomtown Barlow. So I like that because it goes along with the history of Titusville. Titusville was the town that had the birth of the oil industry, and there were boom towns all around Titusville. So towns that came up real quickly from the finding oil there, and then often would go away also. So I do like the name of it. And then another difference is that they're doing three different blade shapes. So the previous 2ABs were in clip points. The Boomtown Barlow is in clip point, sheepfoot, and spear blades. And so on the 2AB, they did this bone handle that I showed you, and then I believe 2 micarta versions. They're doing 3 micarta versions and 3 bone versions, plus at least 2 kind of separate versions. So they did an SFO. I don't think I'm going to get the SFO, but then they've also done a club knife for the Barlow Bearcat Club. So if you are a fan of Barlows, check out the Barlow Bearcat Club. The club knives are all sold, so don't check it out just because of the club knives, but it's a pretty cool thing we have going, and I was really excited to get a club knife on this frame because, like I say, it's really my favorite knife, the 2AB Barlow from Great Eastern Cutlery. So I will do a video on the club knives, but that's not what this video is here. But they're doing several different versions this time, the 3 micarta and the 3 bone. All of the bone are saw cut, and as you can see, all of these micarta are smooth. And they're matching colors, so yellow micarta, yellow bone, blue micarta, blue bone, and brown micarta, brown bone. One of the cool things with these 3 micarta is that they're 3 kind of different types of micarta. So you can see it's yellow linen micarta, denim blue micarta, and then brown burlap micarta. So what happened is I went to the factory actually to get the club knives, and I saw these, and actually I think my son saw them first, and really just was really impressed by how they looked. Particularly this version was the one that initially caught my eye and my son's eye, and I just couldn't help myself but pick them up. And so this is the yellow linen micarta. I really like the look of this micarta. It's got all kinds of character to it. You can see the layers there. Really, really nice. It looks like vintage micarta to me. I mean, that's probably not, but it looks like it. So I just want to show that to you here so you can get a real good look at that. Super well fitted too. There's not really any gaps between the bolsters and the covers. The pins are nicely done. No gaps on the back spring. Look at that. Perfect. The tip is centered and not proud, and that was actually the case on basically all of the club knives, all 150 club knives. So they're doing a great job on this. Now, another difference I'll show you between this and the 2AB is how the blade is swedged. So you can see that this has a cut swedge versus a drawn swedge. And also there's a little bit of a difference in the nail nick location. So just an interesting little difference there. But that's kind of along all of them. They all have a cut swedge rather than a drawn swedge like the original. So I really like the look of this yellow, and great action also. So it's very reminiscent of the 2ABs if you're familiar with those. And I also really like this stamp. So you got the acorn and the leaf, and then GEC. Great Eastern Cutlery doesn't do a whole lot of GEC, Great Eastern Cutlery branded knives. They do more Tidiute and Northfield. So I'm always happy to see these. They are often, GEC is often the stainless offerings from Great Eastern Cutlery, and I, like I said, do prefer stainless generally. But I was just really, really drawn to the look of this knife here, and super, super well made. Then here is the Denim micarta, and so this is really cool because it's a very, you know, obviously different look to the micarta, being that it is denim, and you can see those layers really nicely, the different colors of the different layers. Again, really nicely made, no gaps, super, super well fitted together on this. And then the tip on this one actually sits a little higher than I think it probably needs to as a sheepfoot. Like, this could be dropped quite a bit, and if I decide to use this one, I probably will drop it, but it's well centered and you can't catch your finger on it. Like, you know, I can't catch my finger on the tip, so it's not like a practical issue. But if I am going to carry and use this one, I probably will drop the tip, because you can. It's not going to hurt anything. As a sheepfoot, it'll drop down and won't cause blade wrap unless you like really, really dropped it. So really well made, and then very pinchable. Actually, I think all of these are pinchable. I know at least these two are, and I'll show you. I'll give it a little test on the third one here, but really smooth on all of the micarta on these, and nice action. Saw one posted that had a little bit of an upswept tip, but the 2 or 3 that I saw at GEC at the factory did not have that. So really, really nice, classic sheepfoot blade, super classic Barlow, and again, good action. And then here is the brown burlap, and this one really drew my attention also because this burlap is really nice looking. You can see super smooth. There's one tiny little void right there, but really not much at all, and really nicely finished. Again, fits super well. No gaps on this anywhere that I can see. So just really, really nicely done. And again, well centered, so hopefully you can see that. And the tip is not close to proud here, so that's nice. It's not always the case on spear point blades from GEC, so really was happy to see that. And just super well made. Let me see if I can pinch this one. Oh yeah, I can pinch this one. Now it's a little bit more difficult than the other two because it doesn't stick up as high. The blade doesn't sit as high, but definitely can still pinch it. And again, super nice action. So just all made really, really nicely. And you know, I have gotten full runs of GEC knives before, but I've never ended up keeping them. I do think I'm going to try to get all of the regular releases of this, so these 3, which, you know, I got a good head start on it, and then also the bone, and I've already gotten 2 of them, or they're on their way from Blue Creek Cutlery, so I'm hoping to get the 3rd there from Ken. But I really like these stainless 86 Barlows. I think that it's my favorite knife from GEC. Like, it's a great size. You know, here's a size comparison to the number 15. So the number 15 I think is a really good size also, but the 86 just gives you a little bit more heft. The 86 for sure, you know, is a larger knife. It's a larger Barlow for a slip joint, but for a traditional pocket knife. But I think it's a really, really good size. They do it so well. They've done it a lot, so I think sometimes people think that they've done it too much, but I think that they do it so well. It's really cool to see the matching bone and micarta versions on this. I love the stainless steel, as I've said. I just really like this model, so I do plan to try to get all of them and at least have a set and do a video and show them off for a while, you know. So I'm not usually someone that does that. It's expensive to buy a full set of a GEC knife, but you know, you gotta splurge every now and then, I guess. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. On my monitor that my son is waking up, and so I am going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you check out knifethoughts.com and subscribe to the email newsletter there. Also, subscribe here on YouTube and click the bell so you know when I post new videos, select all and all that. You can check me out on Instagram and Facebook and such. And if you like Barlows, right now applications are closed, but applications will reopen soon for the Barlow Bearcat Club, so you can check us out there. And last but not least, as always, don't forget to go out and do good.